Jarrell Miller has responded to the news of him failing a doping test being made public and him subsequently being refused a license by the New York State Athletic Commission. He has responded with this statement. He says, "I want to thank all of my supporters who have stood by me since day one, and especially during this extremely difficult time. I have not been tuned into social media and any other media outlets to focus and channel all of my energies into working hard with no distractions. I am absolutely devastated upon hearing the news my boxing license has been revoked in New York State, and I will be vigorously appealing this decision. I have never knowingly taken any banned substance, and when I found out the news last night, I was totally shocked. My team and I stand for integrity, decency, and honesty, and together we will stand to fight this with everything we have. This is a voluntary test that I was very happy to do, and these results came just 1 week after another voluntary test that I had taken, which was completely clean. I refuse to just lie down and let my dream be taken away from me when I know in my heart that I've done nothing wrong. 15 years of hard work. I'm a warrior. I don't need a banned substance. Remember, don't believe everything you hear and see. The facts will prevail and I shall be vindicate. I don't have anything to hide, and the truth will make itself known." You got Dylan White commenting or responding to that statement right here saying, interesting. Now, he says he's never knowingly taken a banned substance. Well, that can mean one of two things. That means that he took some kind of supplement or food product that contained a banned substance in it, or he's insinuating that he's somehow been spiked with a banned substance. And he also says here that he refuses to let his, dream go down the toilet, so he's going to keep on fighting and try to clear his name. And we'll see whether that's even possible. He's devastated and what have you. He says also that he had a test the previous week, which was a negative test. In fact, let me read that again. Yeah, he said just 1 week after the test that failed, he had another test which was negative. Well, one thing we do know is that when fighters and many athletes in different sports use PEDs, they often use masking agents to cover up the use of a PED. Whether or not that's the case here, I have no idea. But again, this claim by Miller that he tested negative a week after testing positive may be used by him to try and imply that he was somehow spiked or something got into his bloodstream which shouldn't have been there, which he didn't knowingly put in his body. So we'll see. The plot thickens, but the way things are looking at the moment, you wouldn't imagine Jarrell Miller is going to get this opportunity to face AJ. You'd think he's out of the running. And for those who are kind of entertaining the possibility that there was some shenanigans going on here and that AJ or his team are behind Miller's failed test, just remember that Anthony Joshua has never fought in the United States before, and that DAZN are trying to build AJ up as a name. Why would they put themselves in a position just, 6 weeks away from the fight where they've got to switch opponents? They've already sold 17,000 tickets. Jarrell Miller's a New Yorker, right? He's been doing the rounds on the New York media circuit in the build up to this fight. And I'm sure they had more media events and whatnot to come. So to have to find a different opponent and potentially lose a lot of ticket sales because there's kind of uncertainty about the event now, because it's not just the fact that they're switching opponents and it's not going to be the New Yorker Miller, the trash talking New Yorker in the opposite corner to AJ. It's also the confidence fans have that the show will actually go ahead at all, because once opponents start getting switched, some fans are going to be like, you know what, is this show even going to happen? And the fans who had bought in to Miller, because obviously the 17,000 people who had already bought tickets, they clearly felt like it was worth buying a ticket for this event. Are some of those guys now going to change their minds and say, you know what? The person that they're going to put AJ in with instead of Miller, I don't really rate him. You know, so there's a lot of uncertainty around this. So if it was some kind of plot by, Team AJ to get out of the Miller fight or use his brash personality to publicize AJ's first fight in the United States, that would seem some extreme lengths to go to, in my book, just to publicize themselves. They could have just fought whoever, and publicized it and spent all their time and energy selling it as a legitimate fight rather than going to such great lengths to do something overly elaborate. So I don't know. Other people might say, well, maybe AJ looked terrible in training and Miller was looking really good. And so they thought, you know what, let's throw a spanner in the works and switch to an easier opponent than Miller. Again, I'm not, co-signing any of these suggestions, but I'm just putting it out there. This is what some people are saying. It's what they usually say in situations like this. And as far as who AJ will actually choose as a replacement if the Miller fight doesn't go ahead, and look, there might still be some slim chance that the Miller fight happens, and I personally hope it does because I was looking forward to it. But if it don't, there's the Luis Ortizes, there's the Kalnakis, Kubrat Pulev has ruled himself out. You got Michael Hunter. You've even got people like Ivan Ditchko and Andy Ruiz throwing the name in the ring now, saying that they're willing to step in and fight AJ. You've got Manuel Cha, and you've even got Dillian Whyte, of course, who, according to rumors behind the scenes, Whyte is contemplating taking the fight. But of course, he'd need to be offered an amount of money which he's happy with, and at such short notice would deserve. And remember, Dillian Whyte said he needed a certain amount of time to prepare for the AJ fight, and he needs VADA testing and all this kind of stuff. Well, we've got VADA testing for AJ at the moment. Dillian Whyte is in the clean boxing program, so it shouldn't be too difficult for that. And Dillian Whyte, I believe, is in some kind of provisional training for his own fight, which was supposed to be in July. So maybe he feels like he's got enough baseline fitness to go into a 6-week training camp and be ready for AJ on June 1st at MSG. It still is kind of strange, having two Brits fighting a rematch in the United States. When you're trying to sell yourself to the American public, you're really better off fighting an American, to win them over that way rather than bringing over another Brit. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Miller's statement. I mean, you obviously weren't expecting Miller to say that he was guilty, right? That, yeah, I took some substance knowing it was on the banned list. But one thing we do know about Miller is he's very interested in bodybuilding and powerlifting and all that kind of stuff. And he comes from an MMA background, martial arts background. And in both of those arenas, but particularly bodybuilding, there's a hell of a lot of PED use. We know this. He's also, according to, certain individuals who I've seen speaking in various different YouTube interviews, and I kind of figured this myself, but he's also part of the little Shannon Briggs crew from New York, right? He's from Brooklyn, just like Shannon Briggs is from Brooklyn. And we know Shannon Briggs has been popped for PEDs multiple times in his career. So if he's moving in the same circles as Shannon Briggs, God knows what he's taking. Do you understand? Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up,
There's no contract and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.